Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my new Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 8 post-credit scene video for all that stuff that they set up in the big spin-off series. So I'll explain what's going on. There was so much confusion after that post-credit scene aired. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. I will be doing episode videos for all the big Mandalorian spin-off series that they've announced. I'll also explain what's going on with the schedule of episodes for Mandalorian Season 3 and all the other spin-off series at the end of the video, too. We'll do a giveaway for Disney Plus memberships. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and let me know which Mandalorian spin-off series you're most hyped about. I know everyone's really excited to see what they do with the Ahsoka Tano series and to get our first look at Grand Admiral Thrawn. But careful for spoilers for everything that happened during the Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 8 finale if you haven't seen the episode yet, because there were some major reveals. But just starting with the big stuff, after the Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 8, there was a Boba Fett post-credit scene meant to be a teaser for his new mini-series that's coming next December, The Book of Boba Fett, per the title cards. It's a mini-series probably because it's a one-and-done thing, and it won't be as many episodes as a typical season of The Mandalorian. I'll talk about why that is in a second, because it has a lot to do with what Lucasfilm confirmed about the schedule next year at the big Disney Investor Day. The scene picks up sometime recently after the events of the rescue mission to save Grogu, to help Bo-Katan get the light cruiser and the Darksaber. They accomplished most of those goals, mission mostly accomplished, because now per the Mandalorian customs, Mando himself won the Darksaber from Moff Gideon, meaning he now has the strongest claim to the throne of Mandalore. So shout out to Jon Snow, because Pedro Pascal was also a character on Game of Thrones. He doesn't want it, and Daenerys Targaryen, Bo-Katan here, has to have it out with him to decide what they're going to do next about this, because obviously that's going to be plot during the Mandalorian Season 3 that they'll cover. Episodes of that, get this, are also coming December next year. So I know there's a lot of confusion because the title card for the Book of Boba Fett also said coming December 2021. But now we have the Mandalorian Season 3, Boba Fett, Ahsoka Tano series, and the Rangers of the New Republic series that'll all be happening during the same time period and crossing over with each other like Netflix Defenders or Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, make whatever reference you want. But number 9, Boba Fett and Fennec Shand return to Jabba's palace under Twin Suns. I also love that they played the Twin Suns theme song when Luke entered at the end of the episode because it's kind of Luke Skywalker's theme in the Star Wars universe as well. We find that Bib Fortuna and some of Jabba's court from Return of the Jedi survived the Sarlacc pit event in the sail barge explosion, and Bib Fortuna has taken Jabba's throne, literally and metaphorically. Metaphorically because he's slowly getting thicker and thicker like Jabba. Fun fact too, if you haven't read any of the classic expanded universe novels or watched the Clone Wars episodes, like Tales from Jabba's Palace, there are other books and stories that cover Jabba the Hutt's history and his own rise to power. More of his family of Hutts are also featured during the Clone Wars episodes, his mother and his uncle, Zero the Hutt. His mother is actually even larger and way more powerful in the crime syndicates than Jabba was. Jabba was very powerful, so I'll talk about that when we talk about the plot of this Boba Fett miniseries. But it's only been about 6 years since the sail barge exploded in Return of the Jedi, so Bib Fortuna hasn't been running Jabba's criminal empire for that long. Fennec Shand enters, killing all the Weequay guards and the others, then frees his replacement Twi'lek slave girl. Remember, Bib Fortuna is a Twi'lek himself, so he's kind of despicable keeping one of his own people as a slave girl. They still have the Rancor pit, and I love the way that Boba Fett just walks and stands on the grill, but he knows that there's no more Rancor. Press F in the chat to pay respects. The Rancor did nothing wrong, he was a good boy. And also, side note, Rancors are native to Dathomir. The Night Sisters domesticate them, and Grand Admiral Thrawn's lackey, Morgan Elsbeth, from Season 2, Episode 5, was also from Dathomir during the Clone Wars before it was destroyed. Darth Maul also was born on Dathomir as one of the Night Brothers. They're like the breeding stock for the Night Sisters because it's more of a matriarchy there. So hopefully at some point in these new live-action series we'll see some Night Sisters show up. But as Bib Fortuna is crapping his pants on the throne there, in surprise, Boba Fett slowly walks down the steps, and here's this really important attention to detail that I thought was really cool. You probably heard this if you were watching the episode in a quiet room or you weren't cheering too loudly over the episode because it was a great episode. There's very little music as he's walking down the steps because they want you to hear the jingle of the spurs on his boots, just like classic Boba Fett from Empire Strikes Back. I don't think you're actually able to hear the spurs during Return of the Jedi, because most of the scenes of Boba Fett are of him standing around, and when he is moving around, it's really noisy, so you can't really hear it. Part of the magic of the Mandalorian episodes has been Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni's attention to little details like that. There are Easter eggs even in some of the sound design. And because we're talking about classic Boba Fett from the original trilogy, we should also say again, Jeremy Bulloch, the original Boba Fett actor, passed away last week, the day before the finale episode aired. The cast and crew were paying their respects on social media, so if you wondered what was going on, that was why. But in a classic Boba Fett move, true to OG Boba Fett, Bib Fortuna starts sputtering a mile a minute trying to talk his way out of the situation, and without saying a single word, Boba Fett just shoots him dead on the spot, pushes his thick body off the throne, and sits down looking very comfortable. As the camera pans out, Ludwig Göransson, the person that does all the music for the Mandalorian series, which is amazing, plays a darker Boba Fett version of the Mandalorian theme, which may or may not be part of the theme song for the Boba Fett show. He might make something totally different when they actually get to those episodes. I also love Ming-Na's performance here at the end too. Fennec Shand grabs the bottle of the blue sorghum booze that everybody in the Star Wars galaxy drinks. It shows up in the series in a bunch of different planets. It's made from the blue krill that they farmed in that village from The Mandalorian Season 1 Episode 4. So it's like the official booze of the Star Wars universe. But she just shrugs, takes a giant swig from the bottle, and sits down on the arm of the throne. Then the title card reads, The Book of Boba Fett, coming December 2021. So here's the thing about The Book of Boba Fett, because the vast majority of fans, myself included just for a little while last night, were confused about what that meant for The Mandalorian Season 3 next year. Especially because of the way they left things with Mando and the other main characters from The Mandalorian. You have Grogu leaving with Luke Skywalker to train as a Jedi, then you have Mando joining up with Bo-Katan to take back Mandalore and deal with the Darksaber. Everyone was confused as to whether or not the Book of Boba Fett was meant to be The Mandalorian Season 3, and would the episodes just follow his story for a little while and Mando be a side character, or would Boba Fett be a full spin-off series in addition to The Mandalorian Season 3? Because the Star Wars people at that big Disney Investor Day confirmed that The Mandalorian Season 3 Episode 1 would release Christmas 2021. Then we get this title card saying The Book of Boba Fett coming December 2021, so Lucasfilm has not said anything about this on their official social media accounts. I think the reason for that is because they don't want to spoil the post-credit scene, so they're probably waiting till next week to start talking about the Boba Fett series. And that's why they didn't announce it back at the Disney Investor Day, because they didn't want to play their hand too soon, like, oh yeah, we have this Boba Fett thing coming up, so he's definitely not going to die during the finale. Right now, The Hollywood Reporter is the only big trade publication that's claiming that The Book of Boba Fett is a full spin-off show in addition to The Mandalorian Season 3, but I do believe that that's true, and what'll happen is because the Boba Fett series is meant to be a mini-series, they'll just do 4 episodes of that, and they'll start it at the beginning of December, it'll run for 4 weeks, and then that'll get us to Christmas, when Mandalorian Season 3 starts, and they'll air that for 8 weeks, and it'll run for 8 episodes like it normally would. So next year, we're actually going to get 12 episodes of live-action Star Wars series between Boba Fett and Mandalorian Season 3. But remember, because they air episodes weekly, Mandalorian Season 3 is going to spill well into February. But what's actually happening with the plot of this Boba Fett series? So it seems like what they're doing, just in general with the character on The Mandalorian, is turning him into the badass we always thought he was, that he was hyped to be in Empire Strikes Back, but that the Star Wars movies then never really delivered on. So call it the redemption of Boba Fett as the most fearsome bounty hunter in the galaxy, because it sounds like Mando isn't going to be hunting a whole lot of bounties in Mando Season 3 per Bo-Katan. Like, you're a common bounty hunter, you need to serve a higher calling, which it sounds like Mando is now doing. And now it seems like Boba Fett is styling himself as one of the most powerful crime lords in the galaxy as well. So the Boba Fett series sounds like it's going to be more like the classic Tales from Jabba's Palace books, and if you remember the original live-action Star Wars Underworld series that George Lucas tried to get made right after Revenge of the Sith a long time ago, there was a pilot and a bunch of footage from it that leaked online. I did a whole video for it, so I'll link that in the description. That wound up being canceled because at the time the special effects technology wasn't as easy as it was to do today, way more expensive, and the budget would have been way too big. But it would have followed the criminal underworld of Coruscant and the rest of the galaxy, so that's probably what the Boba Fett show is going to feel like. Also, a really important detail, like I said, all the Mandalorian episodes and spin-off shows, all 3 of them now, if you include the new Boba Fett miniseries, will cross over with each other and build towards an event that Lucasfilm and the Star Wars people were calling a huge event series. The villain of that, as you probably guessed because they took down Moff Gideon pretty quickly in the finale, will be Grand Admiral Thrawn, the new big bad of the Star Wars universe during this era of the timeline. We didn't actually see live-action Thrawn during the Mandalorian finale, so my assumption is that we'll see him on screen for the first time during the Ahsoka Tano series because he got the big shout-out during Ahsoka's episode, when that premieres, probably 2022 at some point. They'll probably wait to cast a Thrawn actor till they start filming next year. I've already done a couple videos for Grand Admiral Thrawn in the Mandalorian live-action series, so I'll link one of those in the description below too. But we've been talking about them doing an Heir to the Empire Thrawn trilogy in the live-action movies for a long time now. It sounds like that's what they're doing through these live-action series. Like there was a big Jedi cloning plot during the Thrawn trilogy involving Luke and another Jedi. Now we have all this cloning stuff going on with Grogu. It seems like they're borrowing a lot of elements from the Thrawn trilogy. But we'll probably find out who's playing Thrawn before the Mandalorian Season 3 and the Boba Fett episodes drop next year. They haven't said exactly when they're going to be filming everything, but that's usually when you find this stuff out. And even though Boba Fett teamed up with Mando during Season 2, really important, remember, historically, he's been pretty morally ambiguous, even portrayed as a villain. Technically, he's not really a villain, though. He's just a simple man trying to make his way in the universe, so I'm expecting him to be way more down and dirty on his miniseries. But ultimately, we'll wind up helping Mando, Bo-Katan, and Ahsoka take down Grand Admiral Thrawn, and because he's running this criminal enterprise now, make a tidy sum in the process. Kind of like a darker version of Lando Calrissian. Someone who's viewed as an ally to the good guys, but also runs a lot of shady business on the side. Remember, they're businessmen. There's also a live-action Lando Calrissian series that they're making, but it's supposed to follow young Lando, Donald Glover's version of the character, and I don't know when they plan on releasing that. But the Ahsoka Tano episodes and the Rangers of the New Republic series will all probably be released during 2022, along with the Obi-Wan Kenobi episodes, shout out to Hayden Christensen, finally coming back, and the Rogue One prequel series episodes for Star Wars Andor. What that means though, and some of you have probably done the math on this, is that The Mandalorian Season 4 might not premiere until early 2023, because with the schedule that they're on right now, they're barely getting Season 3 Episode 1 out by Christmas next year, so the schedule is just moving further and further back. But The Mandalorian Season 3 is going to cover all that Bo-Katan versus Mando Darksaber stuff that they set up, all the Grogu Jedi training with Luke Skywalker, and now Mando is in the service of Bo-Katan and the other Mandalorians as they continue to try and rebuild their fleet and their weaponry. But because of the timing of everything and when all the series are dropping, that big final battle with Grand Admiral Thrawn probably won't happen till like The Mandalorian Season 5 in a couple more years, even though we'll meet Thrawn long before that. Right now they're filming the Boba Fett series, and Mando Season 3 is getting ready to start filming. My next video will be for The Mandalorian Season 3, all those storylines and what's happening next with all the characters. Then after that, I'll do like a really big Luke Skywalker Mandalorian video, because there are huge ramifications for them going full original trilogy with Luke Skywalker cameos. If they're going that far, think about what that means for Hayden Christensen coming back and the potential for him to also show up during the Ahsoka Tano series. I'll name a giveaway winner when I post that Mando Season 3 video tomorrow, but everyone click here for my full Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 8 finale video, and click here for my video about Hayden Christensen coming back as Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, this is the way.